European trip with the S1000. Hi guys, and welcome to Petrolheads London. I'm back with the S1000, but looking a little bit different because I'm off on a bit of a Euro trip to go and check out, well, lots of twisties and lots of alpine passes, so lots of nice switchbacks. It's a long old trip. I'm going to take you along for the journey, but first of all I wanted to talk to you about this bike because all I've really used it for at the moment is, well, you know, weekend run outs, and I did take it to obviously the Isle of Man for the TT. But I think this is one of the best bikes I've ever owned, and I'm going to tell you why, because I think it is so capable of this trip. I know I had a GS before and that could take loads of luggage, but I think you pack to it. So I'm just going to show you what preparations I've made to get the S1000 are ready. I've got a ferry, a train, two trains actually. So I'm taking a train down from Dusseldorf all the way down to Innsbruck so we can ride some of the mountains around there. But this bike is running beautifully, and I want to show you what it's going to look like and what changes I've made to get it ready for a European trip. So the first thing you will notice is I've got these Krieger bags, so I use these. This is a 30 and a 20. The eagle eye, you'll notice it's not quite full because this is only an initial pack. I'm not actually leaving for a day or so, and I've got to fit the drone in there. I need to take my computer with me and potentially a couple of other bits and pieces, so a little bit short at the moment of stuff that's going to go in. I also sometimes put in, you'll see, just a microfiber cloth just to protect the edge of the seat. Now these bags I think are blooming awesome. They're waterproof. If you've not looked at them before, I am going to do a proper review of them, but I use these across Africa, and when the guy who I was doing the trip with said to me, if that stays on over the ridges in Tanzania, where were we, in Namibia, I'll buy it off you, and sure enough he did, so that's my replacement bag. But they're just really, really good. They're waterproof. I've been in ginormous downpours, in fact, in these two bags, coming through France. I mean, some of the worst weather I've ever ridden in, and everything was bone dry. I wasn't. I was not dry at all. So anyway, here's the bike in all its glory. As you can see, we've got the new titanium headers on, sounding fantastic. They're all kind of bedded in a bit now, so ready for the trip. So you'll notice the other changes I've made is normally this has a postage stamp of a screen about this big. In fact, it finishes about here, and I've actually removed that and put on, this is the BMW, I think they call it a sports touring screen. If I'm honest, it makes marginal gain, but just for those motorway stretches, which we're not doing a huge amount of, it makes quite a lot of difference. And I actually don't think it ruins the look of the bike too much, but from a day-to-day basis I really do prefer to have the original, or the screen as designed for, on there. So this is for my Garmin Sat-Nav, and this is a great little piece of kit. It just plugs straight into, there's an accessory socket down here, so I have that hardwired in. I leave the cables there most of the time and then just bring them out for when I want to put it on for long trips. I don't like using Sat-Nav generally. I used to have it on the GS and I found you became really dependent on it and you just didn't enjoy the riding as much. But on trips like this, it is vital. We're going a very long way. There's not quite a few of us, there's about 5 of us, and we may split up into smaller groups at times, so it's really important to have that awesome bit of kit. plugged into the bike, so it keeps it fully charged. Under the boot I actually also have a charger, so what I have is a USB socket in there that I can potentially charge camera batteries, phones and that kind of stuff on. With regards to these bags, they do add a little bit of weight, and having just ridden here, do you know what, hasn't made a huge amount of difference to the riding. One of the things I do is I do change the suspension setting, so this has a dynamic setting on here which enables me to change the setting from one rider to two riders, and although it's probably a bit lighter than an extra rider, I think that's probably just prudent to do that. So we're all ready to go, and as I said, it's quite a big old trip. So the first leg is down to the Eurotunnel, where I'll be getting the Eurotunnel over to France, and then a sort of short leg there over to Ghent, where I'll be spending the night before then heading up to Antwerp on day 2. Now day 2 means that we will be heading up there and meeting the other part of our party who are coming from Northern England and coming in via, I think, Hook of Holland or Rotterdam. So there's the bike. I think she's looking great, and actually, although it looks high, the only thing is you have these acrobatics getting your leg over. Anyway, let me put me back on the camera. I know you didn't really want to see me, you really wanted to see the bike, which is why I kept that on most of the time. But as with all these things, as I'm sure you guys will do, is the first thing I did is she got a bit of a clean. You have to excuse a few mucky patches because I then had her ride in the rain, so it's had a quick polish up since then. So I like it to look nice and clean as we set off, which is going to be hard to keep it that way. Then in the bags, what have I got? So there's quite a lot of stuff there, as you can see. So mostly clothing, but I'm riding in mesh kit most of the time, and probably jeans. So we've got some waterproof layers, so you can boil the hell out of you, which I hate wearing, but hopefully for emergencies, and hopefully the weather's going to be pretty good. We've got quite a changeable climate while we're away, because we're going from Northern Europe down to the Alps, where actually you're going up into the mountains where the temperature can really drop, and we've seen it's down as far as like 1 or 2 degrees, but that is overnight, so hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer, and I think the adrenaline might be pumping on those particular trips, so we might not feel the cold anyway. So yeah, some clothes for 10 days, then a few tools. I don't take a huge amount with me, if I'm honest. You just hope that everything's all right. A few torque wrenches, Allen keys, that kind of stuff. Tape, you never know what you need to tape on. They're always a really good thing to have. And then in the other bag I generally have stuff like my valuables, so my laptop and cameras and stuff like that. And actually this time I'm not taking this big camera with me because it is so weighty, and fitting it in those bags makes it, well, just, I need the space. So I said taking some mesh kit as well and the waterproofs, but also in there having you know, a change of clothes for the evening and some shorts and stuff to get in when it gets pretty hot is absolutely vital. So anyway, you guys don't need to know about my full packing, I'm sure that's fine. Then what I'm also trying to fit in here is the drone, and because I've got the drone and I'll be taking a lot of video, going to be GoProing it all, I need my computer to download it all every evening. So in order to do that and sync it with the sound, I'm going to take my laptop with me and my charger. So all this stuff adds weight, and ideally you'd have some sort of support truck, you throw all this shit in and then just got on with riding. But right now that's kind of where I'm at. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what this bike looked like when it is Euro trip ready. Have a quick look at her. I think with the screen on doesn't look too bad. I see people who keep the Garmin Sat-Nav on all the time. Sorry guys, I'm just not a fan. You know, ideally you want to keep the weight down because I want to be enjoying it on those twisty turns. And actually the one thing with these, although they're not fully strapped down now, they look a bit wobbly, but actually when you really cinch down those, like, what do you call them? Ratchets, that really holds them on nice and tight. So actually from a point of view of stability, you never feel the bags moving around or waving about. It's absolutely superb. And you'll probably notice as well, I've finished kind of blacking out the logos on the protection on the engine case as well, so they look a bit nicer too. So you've got to look good while you're on these tours. Anyway, there's a bit of an introduction to, I think, the best bike for all occasions, and we're taking it on a European trip. It is going to be amazing. I can't wait. I hope the weather stays nice. It's a bit overcast here in the UK today, but it is very hot and humid. Thank you for watching Petrolheads London. Please remember to like and subscribe, and remember, comments below. Follow me on this trip. I'll try and give you as much of an insight as to what this is like. Take care guys, cheers.